everything that's going on in Florida right now.
You mean illegal immigration, or are you talking about legal immigration?
Both. He doesn't want people of our color,
When we talk about systemic, we more of mean like the institutions within America, laws.
Not at all.
No.
I wouldn't say not any laws, no laws in place, no like proof in the pudding.
What's going on, everyone? James Klug here. It seems as though race baiters will do literally everything they can to convince the public that people of color are systemically oppressed. But does systemic racism actually exist? And if so, what is it? Today I'm joined by Lisa Reynolds, and we are in Laguna Beach to find out. Lisa, are you ready to get going?
I'm ready.
Let's go talk to some people. Huge shout out to our friends over at Tej Hanley for sponsoring this video. Okay, so 2023, today. Does systemic racism exist?
Absolutely, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think absolutely.
Okay.
Of course. It is one of our main tenets, is the level of racism and hate that we have.
I believe that's true.
Yes?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't say that that's a huge problem at this time in 2023.
Anyone disagree with these two or no?
She's my wife. I disagree with her.
Oh, okay. Systematically, when it comes to our institutions or laws or anything like that, are they in place to discriminate against Asian, black people, Indians, white people?
Redlining?
Right. I definitely agree that systemic racism existed in the past. To date, does it exist?
I would say yes.
It's kind of blown out of proportion a little bit. Yeah, like if you look at what's really happening, it's like the best it's ever been for everybody, you know?
Could you guys do your best to define systemic racism, just to make sure that I can understand what you think, what you believe it is?
Basically, it's already inbred in the system that there's going to be prejudice against a certain class of people, no matter what.
So there's policies, institutions that are against people of color?
Yes.
It really is a structural part of our society. It's not something like I dislike that person.
What system or policy would you guys point to that would be an example of that, would you say? Policing?
Policing for sure. Yeah.
Housing.
Housing?
Stuff I see online where like, you know, the police and what they be doing, you know. I base it on that only.
You base it on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think some people are blowing that out of proportion, in your opinion?
I mean, there's always a political agenda type of deal with that, but I think it's just kind of, people don't think for themselves, you know, just going along with what everyone else is thinking in the social media and all that.
Everything that's going on in Florida right now.
But that's mostly like transgender stuff, right? There's no real race laws going on in that, so.
Well, I guess my question would be, what race
Well, the
laws could we look at that we
immigration
can improve on, do you
laws-
think?
The immigration laws that they're doing in Florida right now is to curb people of color coming in. It's not just the transgender. He is attempting to curb immigration coming in.
You mean illegal immigration, or are you talking about legal immigration?
Both. He doesn't want people of our color, not of our color, in the state.
How so, do you think? Housing, do you think?
After the war, I guess when World War II, when they came home and basically they made the GI Bill, it wasn't spread out for everybody.
Today, 2023, not, you know, we know that
it still exists today.
What, like redlining or?
Redlining.
Redlining was banned in the, banned in the 80s, and it's illegal today.
That doesn't mean anything.
That it's illegal?
Yeah. I mean, it's illegal, but it doesn't mean anything. People still do it.
Those would be criminals. Those people would go to jail. All right, everyone, let's take a few moments to talk about today's sponsor, Tej Hanley. They help men start and maintain a skincare routine by simplifying the entire process. And honestly, you guys, I never knew anything about skincare and have never done it before this. Tej really does make it easy. I recommend you start with the one that I'm starting with, which is their level 1 system that gives you all of the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the grime and dirt on your skin, an exfoliating scrub that gets rid of dead skin cells that you can use twice a week, and an AM moisturizer with 20 SPF and a PM moisturizer to help keep your skin hydrated all day long. Every box from Tej Hanley comes with an instruction card that tells you when and how to use it. You guys, they make it incredibly easy. Their products will make your skin look and feel better than ever before, and you guys can take my word for it because I'm on the internet. But if you don't want to, go to their website. They have over 7,000 5-star reviews from satisfied customers all over the world. Also, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, pause or cancel anytime, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're giving all of my viewers 30% off plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal, you guys. I am already a customer. Join me by hitting that link down below and get started today. Let's get back to the video.
Police immediately comes to mind because that's such an anomaly. You have white police forces that are policing black communities.
Actually, most black communities have majority black police forces, including black police chiefs and black mayors and such.
In many of the
What's going on there if that's
Yeah.
the case? If that's the case, what's going on there?
Many and larger, but just remember that some of the problems with policing aren't always racial based. A lot of the problems with policing are institutional based.
So that's what I'm saying.
Just because there's a black policeman, it doesn't mean that once he puts on a uniform, he begins to accept a very different outlook toward the people he's policing.
Just look at who many of the mayors, police chiefs, district attorneys, leaders are in this country.
Yeah, a lot of minorities.
Yeah. So I would think if it was systematic racism, those jobs, those people would not be in those positions.
Do you guys think if there's a black police chief, if there's a black mayor, majority police force is minority, are they still serving the purpose of what? Racism, you think, possibly?
Well, I think they're human beings, and I think every human being, even no matter what their job is going to bring their own spin to what they're doing. But legally, they have to obey the law.
If it was systematic, then those people would, by virtue of this system, be locked out. And the fact is that there's all kinds of people in those positions, which tells me that it couldn't be.
What policy are we referring to more so, would you say, that you're talking about there? Which one is that? Or I guess we could look it up.
Well, any of the, United States immigration policies in general, I think, are discriminatory because the bulk of the illegal immigration that we have coming in comes in from airplanes, not at the border. So trying to stop stuff at the border and people at the border is just a small part of what the actual issue and the real issue is. And the biggest illegal immigrants that we have are from Europe.
Both a visa overstay and stuff, that would be illegal as well. But that's just immigration policy. Doesn't every single country have that? Like you can't go across a country's border illegally and enter their country. Every country has that. Is that systemic racism?
But when you focus on one particular area of illegal immigration and not the others, you're focusing here on the border and saying this is where the problem is. But that's not where the problem is. The problem is,
well, there's about 200,000 people, over 200,000 people coming across the southern border every single month. So, it is a problem for sure.
We've had record number of people trying to
Yes.
cross the southern border. But a lot of the problem that we're seeing at the border too is there's a humanitarian crisis happening too. And we're having record numbers of fentanyl coming over. There's children that are dying at the border. There's kids that are drowning. They're being human trafficked down there. So it's like a humanitarian crisis down there at the border too. And I think that's why there's a lot of focus on it that's not really talked about too much.
okay.
What example would you give of people still doing it, do you think?
Real estate, people doing basically looking at a house and doing in a black neighborhood versus a white neighborhood, and then you have the appraisers come to the black neighborhood. They give the less value on a black neighborhood house than they would if it's the same house, same square footage, everything.
Would it be a nicer neighborhood or worse neighborhood that would affect the value of that, do you think, or no?
No. But we live in.
Yeah, we live in North Orange County though.
If we drive down Euclid to Anaheim, price of value goes.
But isn't that just with everything?
No.
That happens all the time. Like even in mine, if you live in Newport or Laguna or whatever, if you drive down the street, homes might be $15 million. Is that discrimination that's taking place there, or are they just worth different amounts of money because that's how property works?
Discrimination again, because what do you call Anaheim anti-crime?
We call it anti-crime, even though Disneyland's there. There's a lot of crime in Anaheim.
But that's the difference. It's not like a racist thing. It's a crime thing. It's a socioeconomic issue.
Hurt the value of those homes that are closer, even if in the slightest bit, closer to where that's happening.
It definitely would and has, because we live in and our values are double than what they are in Anaheim.
I mean, if anything, that sounds like you guys are getting benefited. So are you guys are the maybe Hispanic people that are in Anaheim getting discriminated against versus you guys?
Yes,
Wow.
definitely.
But we
So
just
I'm
talked
just
about
saying
how
that,
there was
no.
gangs over there,
No,
so that
but-
would hurt the value.
yeah.
I think policing is an interesting one to choose because what part of it would you give as an example of it being systemically racist? Then let's say we can use Los Angeles. We have a black mayor. I believe we have a white police chief. We have a Hispanic sheriff, and then we have a minority LAPD. What about that would be systemically racist, would you say?
I can't, unfortunately, I'm from the East Coast, so I can't necessarily make a comment on
Let's
on
grab
LA.
a police department over there. What do you want to grab onto? We can grab on Chicago or...
Chicago, I don't know if Chicago, I don't think Chicago is predominantly black police force.
Does it have to be predominantly black or even a majority to not be systemically racist? Does it have to be that way?
The problem is, and this goes to the issue is when you say systemic racism, there's a lot of examples of systemic racism. Policing is much more complicated. You not only have systemic racism, but you have a we-they mentality which overlays.
What is systemically racist about it?
Well, if you are a black policeman or a policeman and you're going to high crime areas, and it's not unusual, a lot of these high crime areas are black areas. So you're going to start to develop certain...
I love your content. Thanks, brother.
Hey, thanks for watching. Thank you.
You're going to start to develop certain defense mechanisms just by the very fact that every day you may be arresting people and maybe 8 out of 10 of them are black. So you start to develop your own, not necessarily prejudice, but certain preconceived
Why
notions.
would 8 out of 10 of them be black? You're saying because it's a black neighborhood?
It tends to be black neighborhood. We know that crime tends to be higher in those areas. There's a lot of reasons for it.
When it comes to the police, do you believe that the police are systemically racist? Do you think that Laguna Beach police maybe are systemically racist?
I mean, I wouldn't say police in general. I say certain people. You can't just blame everything on, one specific group, I just believe that there's certain people that are bad out there in the road that, just judge people off of the race or whatever might be the case,
And I definitely agree. I mean, there's going to be individuals out there that are racist, whether they hate Hispanics, white people, black people. I mean, I was just talking to a lady the other day that hates white people and saying that she was racist. The conversation today is more around systemic racism. Like, are there laws in place that are against those people? Or do you just think that there's individual people that just happen to be holes?
Yeah, individual people, bro.
If you're a policeman in those areas, you're going to start to become desensitized to that.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably make that point to almost any community when it comes to, if I'm arresting majority Middle Eastern people in this area, or majority white people, or majority Asian, or whatever it is, right? 2023, does systemic racism exist?
I don't think so. There's always going to be some, but not like it used to be.
Yeah, when we talk about systemic, we more of mean like the institutions within America, laws.
Not at all.
No.
I wouldn't say not any laws, no laws in place, no proof in the pudding.
What side of the aisle do you think has the political agenda that's pushing that systemic racist narrative?
I would say it's probably more on the liberal end. I would say probably more on the liberal end.